My name is Diane Eakins, and I'm a nurse practitioner student at Midwestern State University. I'm here to assess your cardiovascular and your peripheral vascular systems. And thank you for laying here. I'm going to do the cardiovascular system, and most of it's going to be laying down. So I'm going to try to talk you through it as I go through and inspect and palpate and listen. So I'm going to be touching you and feeling you, and I'm going to walk you through it. If you have any questions, please stop. Okay, I'm going to help you get back. We're going to lay you at a 30-degree angle for most of the assessment. I will have you move as I need to be able to accurately assess. Okay, so the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to inspect. I'm going to look at your neck. I'm going to check for your carotid artery, your pulse, and your jugular vein pulse. And I'm looking for jugular vein distension. Now, I do not see any jugular vein distension, so I'm looking for the pulse, and I can see it bounding in your supranotch here, subclavicular, your suprasternal notch right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you turn to the left so I can see a little better. Good deal. And here I do see it right there. Now I'm going to measure that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a straight edge, and this straight edge is just going to, I'm going to kind of use it as a mark at the highest point of the bounding. And then this has a ruler on it with centimeters. And I'm going to measure where that intersects. And it is at a 2 centimeter difference. And that is absolutely normal. Anything under 3 centimeters is normal. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to palpate. So I'm going to feel your carotid artery. Okay. And I'm going to listen, because we always want to hear. Now when I'm palpating, I'm feeling for thrills or anything. Now I'm going to be listening with both the diaphragm and the bell. Now I'm going to be listening across. I'm going to go with the bell. It's a lot better for vascular sounds. Listening for any bruise or turbulence. Okay. And now I want to repeat this on the other side. And again, I'm going to have you look to the right, and I'm going to inspect. And again, I see you have no jugular vein distension, and it's bounding, and it's at the same point. So I'm going to listen, palpate. I do not want to palpate your carotid artery anywhere near your arch, because you could change your heart rate or your blood pressure. And I'm going to listen again with both the diaphragm and the bell. Okay. And I'm going to come back around on the other side. Thank you. And okay, everything looks and sounds good. Okay. And now I'm going to, the arteries, we're always listening for bruits or thrills. And so I'm going to inspect now your precordial, and then in other words your chest. And your valves to your heart radiate pulses in different aspects of your chest. And I'm going to feel for those. And so the first one I'm going to feel is in the intercostal space, the second intercostal space. On the left side, your aortic, your pulmonic. We go down the second, third, fourth, and fifth, listening or feeling for your Erb's point. And I'm going to go across to the midclavicular line and feel your tricuspid and your point of maximum, your apex of your heart. Okay, feeling for thrills or any, like if it would almost feel like it would bounce my hand up. Feels good. If I couldn't feel it, I would have you roll over and still feel here. That way I could assess it. Okay, now I'm going to listen. Again, I'm going to listen with both the diaphragm and the bell across those same points. The second clavicular line on the left for your aortic, your pulmonic, across your third, fourth, and fifth to your Erb's point, the midclavicular line, here are your tricuspid and your bicuspid. And again, I'm going to listen with the bell, listening for any murmurs or backflow of blood. And I'm not hearing any murmurs or any back. The S1, S2 sound good. There's not a split. No S3 sound. Okay, now I'm going to have you sit up for this part. And again, I'm going to listen. Across your midclavicular line, apex of the heart and the tricuspid and the bicuspid. And again with the diaphragm. And across the midclavicular line again. And everything sounds really well. And thank you. Now what I'm going to do is have you lean forward just a little. And this is going to check for any, if people who are a little bit older may have some insufficiencies and soft aortic insufficiencies. Again, I'm going to listen with both sides. Diaphragm first, moving down. Across the midclavicular line, up. Good. And I'm just walking it across to all of the valves. Very good. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to help you lay back down. Thank you. Now I'm going to inspect your abdomen, okay? And what I'm looking for now is your aorta. And I'm looking for the pulse of it. And I'm going to inspect, and I'm going to look, in other words, and then I'm going to listen. And I'm going to listen with both the diaphragm and the bell again. I'm listening for bruits. Of course, the bell is a little bit better for any of the vascular sounds. And now I'm going to palpate. And I'm going to start below the epigastric line. And I'm going to palpate your aorta. And I'm going to move my fingers across so I can feel, because I can actually feel how wide it is. And I'm going to feel across for the bifurcation, to the pulses that I can feel for the renal, the iliac, the renal, even the femoral. Very good, very good. And thank you very much for that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check your upper extremities. And I'm going to start with your shoulders, and I'm going to be looking and touching at the same time, inspecting for the color, the hair pattern, any abnormalities, and I'm going to be feeling for the warmth. It feels warm, and I'm going to be checking for capillary refills, and to do that I blanch your fingers, press on your fingers and check to see if there's, watch it go back to pink, and if it's very quick, which yours are. Brisk, less than 2 seconds is good. That means that your venous flow, vascularity is good. I'm going to feel for your pulses, your radial pulse and your radialis. Good. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, I want to start at the shoulders, looking for warmth, color, hair pattern. And again, I'm going to check capillary refill. Very good. I'm going to check your pulses again. Very good. Thank you. And now I'm going to check your lower extremities, and by checking your lower extremities, thank you. Very good. I needed to look at your feet. Thank you very much. And so again, I'm going to check for warmth and color and hair pattern, and I'm going to feel down, and I'm going to check for edema. Now pressing, if there's any indentions that it leaves, see if there's any third spacing. And I'm going to check on your toes, and it does have hair on your toes, which means that there is good vasculation there, and you do not have any edema. And so I'm going to check your popliteal pulse now. So I'm going to do that by lifting your foot and getting my hands behind the popliteal fossa and pulling out a little bit till I feel the pulse. Good deal. Now, I'm going to also feel the pulses on your feet. I'm feeling for the posterior tibialis and the dorsus pedis. And thank you. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to check for warmth and color and hair pattern. And I'm going to check for edema. Pressing in, see if there's any third spacing. None. And I'm going to look to see if you've got any hair on your toes, which you do. Looks beautiful. Check your pulses again. Good deal. Now I'm going to do something that is not used a whole lot in clinical practice anymore, but it's called the Holman sign. And that Holman sign is going to be kind of an initial test to see if you have any deep vein thrombosis or blood clots. And how I do that is I'm going to dorsiflex your foot while palpating your calf. And this should not elicit any pain, does it? Good, okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And you tell me if this hurts. Good deal. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Gus. Thank you for your time. I will help you set up.